What up, it's ORRION. That's Orion Online. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we're here for another round of Homeboy Talk. Talk that talk.
This is your boy Petee, aka King Awwtha. You can find me on YouTube at King Awwtha Plays.
This is the pro wrestling extraordinaire, Brian Simmons. You can catch me on All Star Southern on Instagram.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name's Deon Donovan. You can catch me at Title Page Comics on Instagram and Facebook.
This your boy, Daniel Stinette, a.k.a. Hybrid Rainbow on Resettor Forums. You can catch me on Instagram at black_lawns. Alright, guys, we're back at it again with another topic. Today's topic is going to be the launch of the PlayStation 5. We are finally here, people. Next gen is here, baby. We're finally getting all that next gen goodness. And for the guys around the table, I know a couple of you guys got PlayStation 5s. And
Yes.
now that you've had a chance to actually sit down with it, kind of get it set up, play a few of the games, go from there. Let's just go ahead and discuss a little bit about your opinion. Starting with you, Petee. What
The PS5.
Mind-blowing?
It's very mind-blowing.
It is.
Like, I literally sat at home. I looked at my fiance, looked at my system, looked at my fiance, looked at the system, went straight to the system.
Okay, bro.
We're going to edit this part out.
All right, guys, and that's it. That's it for Homeboy Talk. We're going to go ahead and end it right
But no,
here.
seriously though, the whole unboxing and the whole playing of the system and the difference it is, it's mind-blowing.
What do you think of the size of it, though?
I felt like I was carrying like two college textbooks.
Like,
About the size
I think
of
it's
my
huge,
body.
man. Like, it's
huge.
actually pretty big. It actually caught me off guard how big it
I
is.
felt like I was carrying a child.
So I saw somebody put a photo up, and they had 5 like towers in a row, and it's like pick the PS5. You can see the PS5, but all of the other towers were like air conditioners.
Yeah.
It looked just like it, the architecture and everything.
Yeah.
I just thought that was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, like I think the box itself was like it's like 15 pounds.
It's like 50 pounds.
It's like 15 pounds. Like, I pulled the PS5 out, and I like even holding it in one hand, I was struggling. I was like, God, like this thing is heavy. It's
a big baby.
Like that thing
Yes,
is
it is
big.
literally
But
like the
I
size of
mean,
a baby.
But the cool thing about it though is like when I actually had, because I put mine in vertical mode. I couldn't put it in horizontal.
I had to have on like.
And in horizontal, yeah, I put mine in vertical. And when I just looked at it and took it back, I was like, yo, this is clean.
Yeah,
It's super clean. It's super futuristic looking. It looks good. And then when you finally get a chance to turn it on for the first time and it goes through like the whole entire setup and process and everything like that, like it was so slick because it got to a point where it was going through the setup and it was like, oh, do you want to load up this game while we're going through the rest of your other stuff for setting up? And I was like, wait a minute, I can
do this.
I can put Spider-Man Miles Morales in right now and load it up while I'm going through the rest of setup. And by the time I got done with the setup, the game was already set up and ready to go. I was like, let's go. Sony knows what's going on when it comes to respecting gamers' time. Because I wasn't trying to sit there all day waiting for this to upload and do all the updates and everything else like that. I mean, so what did you guys end up getting game-wise?
I ended up only getting Miles Morales. I had Scarlet Nexus on pre-order. I thought it was supposed to come out, but of course they pushed it back to like February, whatever. I've got that one. Probably Thanksgiving on Black Friday, I'm probably getting Godfall. I saw that game. It looks clean.
It looks clean, but from what I heard, man, I heard that gameplay is not.
I watched that gameplay.
But most of the games that I have on there right now are PS4, which I ported over. I upgraded Mortal Kombat to Ultimate on the DLC.
Okay.
Got the free upgrade. As I mentioned to the guys before the chat, Street Fighter 5 plays so much better on the 5 than it does the 4.
It does.
Tekken plays so much better.
Oof, it does.
I haven't done Dragon Ball yet, but so far Dragon Ball looks so much cleaner. Dragon Ball Fighters looks so much cleaner.
It's a 2 gigabyte game, though.
I mean, there's not much they can really upgrade that
but
point.
still, it still looks great. But the game that has caught me by surprise, believe it or not, Astro's Playroom.
Yes.
Astro's Playroom caught me by surprise because I grew up platforming. You know, Mario, Sonic, Crash, Spyro. So playing Astro's Playroom, the biggest thing that the game wanted to feature was PlayStation nostalgia and the PS5 features, especially the DualSense controller.
Right.
Like literally when you're playing that game, there's an area where you're up in the clouds and then it starts raining and then Astro somehow pulls out an umbrella. The vibrations on the controller make you feel that you are touched, like you're
actually being rained on.
It's being rained on. And then there's a part where you get into a suit and you have springs and you got to jump back and forth. When you turn the controller left or right, you can feel the springs in the controller. There's no springs in the controller, but you can feel like there's springs in there. And the thing that caught me by surprise, honestly, with the PS5 is the screen reader. It's like, hello, welcome to PS5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, please press the PS5 button to start your console. I was like, wait, what? My console is talking to me?
Yeah, I had to turn that off.
I turned it off too.
I was like, yo, I'm not trying to have this thing talking to me in the middle of the night, talking about Daniel, play me. I'm like,
nope.
Turn that thing off.
I see this. I seen this on the TV show. Nope, cut it off.
Yeah, but yeah, Astro's Playroom does an amazing job of really showing you the haptics in the DualSense controller as well as the adaptive triggers, because it has the motors in them to simulate tension on what you're doing. So if you remember in Astro's Playroom, there was the point where you had to kind of use the triggers to climb up the
monkey thing.
It's like the monkey suit going back and forth, and then there was a part where you have like.
You move the controller around.
Yeah, you move the controller around to kind of jump from pole to pole. And then when you grab this one little, it's kind of, I guess the best way to describe it is like a zipper. And it's like a zip line, and the zip line is like moving with the controllers, and it's like click, 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 click. Yeah. And you can feel the triggers feeding back off of that. And I saw that, and I was like, yo, if this is the future of how games are gonna feel, it's gonna bring even more immersion, because now you can feel it as well as hearing it with the 3D audio.
Also, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I only have Miles Morales.
That's all you need. So you can't go wrong with that.
The thwipping, the little pressure right before you hit it. It's just like you feel like you're web swinging. I'm just blown away by, like, when you move into future software and like hardware. It's like I never thought that a game could sync up with your controller like that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that the PlayStation 4's controller was the most innovative we were going to go for.
With the whole touchpad and the share button and things like that.
But now you got like, you're going to feel the thwips.
Yes.
You're going to feel the pressure right before you release.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
I mean, well, because I guess one of the biggest concerns that people had was that going into this next generation, that the haptics in the controller and the adaptive triggers were going to be more so of just like a gimmick.
Yeah.
Kind of how like the touchpad was on the PS4, the DualShock 4, and is that it wasn't really going to get used and whatnot. But then, first, somebody from Sony said that, hey, look, the way that we programmed this inside of the actual, for devs, it makes it super simple to put it into the game, so that pretty much because I guess what makes it different for the motors for the Rumble is that it's not based off of what's programmed into the game. It's based off of sound. So that's what makes it feel a lot more immersive, because they're taking sound files from whatever sounds in the game, and it converts it into a Rumble format into the actual motors. And so that's why when you're in Astro's Playroom you're walking on sand, it feels like sand. You're walking in mud, it kind of has like that sloggy mud feel. Like it actually feels like you're doing something. And I guess what really kind of blew me away was when I saw that it wasn't just first-party games that were doing this. Third-party games were doing this. I also have Call of Duty Cold War for Black Ops. When I went through the campaign and I pulled the trigger down and put out an MP5 or an AK, and I held the trigger down, and the triggers is responding with different tension in terms of feedback for recoil, and it was actually doing it as I'm holding down, I was like, we done hit a whole new level of games.
We're somewhere else.
We're somewhere else now, because now almost it's like this. Y'all remember how y'all feel when you first played the Wii and you first had that chance to hold the motion controller, and you were like, I could actually move my hand around, and it was very intuitive, and it just made you want to explore and just experiment and do different stuff with it. Well, this is almost that Wii type moment for gaming now, because now there's going to be no game that we can't play that they're going to find some way to put those type of feedback into it, so that now horror games, oh God, can you imagine playing a horror game and you feel the vibration of somebody's footsteps coming up behind you as they get ready to get you?
Imagine Resident Evil 8 is coming out with the next year.
You know what? I'm not playing that in VR, because I feel like VR. I feel like playing that VR with the headset, with the controller, and the 3D audio. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
You better wear some diapers.
I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Resident Evil 7 in VR was just horrible.
I could only play that. I played halfway through that game in VR. I couldn't play anymore. It was too much.
I was playing that with Keisha, and she's watching it, and I'm going through the VR motions. I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do this. The second dude walks through the freaking wall, I'm like, yeah, this is too much for me. I gotta put this down.
And now we got the controller that actually gives you that feedback of different moments and stuff.
So you said that haptic feedback works with third-party games.
Yeah.
I wonder how it feels with Mortal Kombat.
I've played Mortal Kombat Ultimate with the haptic feedback.
Yeah.
Did they do anything with it?
A little bit. It had more rumble, like certain, like when you're getting
Okay.
stabbed and stuff.
They ain't do it.
They ain't do it.
But you also go like feel the pressure.
Ed Boon's like,
fuck
you also have to remember, it was a PS4 title. They just updated rumbles and things like that. Like little punches, you'll feel little rumble, a punch. Big punches, like the fatal blows, you'll feel those in the controllers, things like that. But yeah, the PS5 the interface. That's one thing we really have to talk about. The interface. The interface is great. The
everything
speed,
is
loading times are faster.
Oh my god!
Even with PS4 games, I played Trails of Cold Steel 4. Normally, it takes like about 30 minutes for you to start the game up. It took me like less than 15 minutes to start up. But then again, I had DLC, so it took a while. But the whole interface, like I can just have the game in the console, or I could start on. Let's say I play Trails of Cold Steel, start it up, boom, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change up. Just hit that PS button. It shows you a whole list of trophies and things on how to get the trophies. Instead of having you like look for the trophies on the game or the trophies, you can see the whole things and how to accomplish the trophies and what you need to do. And then you can go down and say, I want to play something else. You can quickly switch to that game, and then the other game's on hold. Other games on hold. That's something I love because I'm like, you know what? I want to play something else. If you're if you're a switcheroo person, it's like, all right, play this for a little bit, switch to the next game, come back to it. It's Sony has outdone themselves.
Now, can I ask you guys a question now?
Yes.
All right, so you guys got units right now, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't. Look, people, everybody out there, this entire time we've been having this discussion, Orrion has been sitting here with like just look on his face like I hate y'all because his is stuck in transit right now for the mail, so he hasn't got it yet.
It's in my bedroom right now.
He just hasn't opened it up yet.
You gotta open it yet?
Hold on, let him explain. Let him explain.
I done told you guys.
Like the pitchforks out.
I showed you guys a picture. It's been in.
What you doing?
All right.
I don't have a 4K TV. That's the reason I don't have
There it is. Black Friday sale coming up.
Black Friday.
You know, so Black Friday will be coming up, and I'll be experiencing station. But I don't have to be sitting there and wait for a PS5 on Black Friday. It's already
True,
real.
man.
Yeah.
Like, it is rough out there.
But I gotta ask you guys a question because now I'm scared to open the motherfucker because the bugs. I want to know if you guys encounter any crashes, any bugs, any nonsense, any overheating, any crazy shit. I know, of course, no overheating.
So I've encountered a lot of game crashes, but not any system crashes.
Have you been swinging around the city as a fan or on Miles Morales?
No, I already beat the game. I went through the whole entire game not having any problems. The ones that I've had problems with so far has been Call of Duty and has been Demon Souls. And Demon Souls has crashed maybe like twice. Call of Duty crashes like almost every 30 minutes, and it's annoying. And at that point, it's not so much. I would say the system. I would say that one's more so software. The one I'm scared of happening is the one where the whole system crashes and it just turns off. Because that's what I've heard. I heard some systems have completely turned off
and have
bricked, and you're like, what the hell happened? Or there's been the main issue I've been hearing that people are putting their game into their PlayStation 5 in rest mode while they're playing Spider-Man Remastered. And if you do that, it could possibly corrupt your PlayStation 5 and go from there. Or the newer complaint that I'm hearing now is there's a thing called coil whine, which is like your PlayStation 5 will make like this really high pitched whining sound. It's supposed to be the sound of like the CPU or something like that, like running at a certain point that when it gets to certain games, if it's using more power, it'll be like that. And apparently that's like the new thing that's coming. I mean, me personally, I haven't heard of it, but people have been online posting videos of them doing stuff and everything else like that. And the only thing I have to say to that is I know everybody, especially Xbox fanboys, but I know people want to jump up there and they're like, whoa, look, Sony made it so big and it was supposed to negate this stuff. What's going on and everything like that? Well, I mean, let's be real. Like 1% of 1 million is what 10,000. When you have how many couple of million units and this applies to anything technology-wise. when you have any type of equipment or anything that you've made, when you make so many of them in a factory line, there's always going to be within that certain percentage, there's always going to be stuff that's not going to work. And that's just what it is. It could have it happened to the Switch, it happened to PlayStation 4, it happened to Xbox One, it's happening to Series X, happened to PS5. And I feel like back in the day, if this was going on, you wouldn't really have heard so much about it. But because we're in an age where social media is more prevalent than ever, and you got all these crazy people on YouTube making these videos, these reactionary headlines and clickbait and all this stuff like that. You know, as soon as somebody stubbed their toe on a PS5, oh my God, the PS5 broke my toe. Sony needs to fix this. And you're sitting there like, well, hold on, guy. Like, okay, I'm sorry that you had issues and whatnot, but your issue is not affecting things on a grand scale. People forget we're not that far away from the Red Ring of Death on the Xbox 360, to where that affected almost 40% of the Xboxes that were produced by Microsoft.
And it's still sold.
And still, Microsoft had to pay over $1 billion to fix that issue. Whatever's going on with PS5 right now, while I sympathize with all you guys out there who waited and stuff happened to your PS5 and whatnot, I truly feel for you. That's nowhere. We're not on the same level. It's not on the same level, and
the Red Rings of Death.
And we're not the Red Ring of Death. So I'm sorry, if something happened to your PS5, just be thankful that you end up getting it within that 1 year warranty. Just send it back to Amazon or Best Buy or wherever you got it from. Go ahead and get it swapped out, and go ahead and join some games on PlayStation and enjoy yourself and everything like that. But I can't
take the L.
Yeah, take the L and just keep it moving. We're sorry, but
or do what a normal person does.
So, Brandon, you got any issues, any technical difficulties, any crashes?
Miles. So the game just I don't want to say it stopped, but it stopped responding. Like there was do you remember the part where you're in the Roxxon thing with Finn, and you have to punch the power cord?
Yeah.
I tried to hit it. I hit it from every angle, and it wouldn't work. Stopped. I tried to go interact with other things.
Yeah.
Nothing worked. So I had to restart. I had to cut the whole entire system off and then cut it back on, and then the game just worked smooth from there.
That's crazy.
You guys didn't have any rebuilding issues or anything else that actually going on?
The other day when there's a new update for it, I installed the update. It said rebuild database, but it came back on.
Yeah.
So
I think it was just a regular
update. But I haven't had any issues with it because even when I got my PS4, when I first got it, I didn't put the rest mode on because I don't remember how had an issue with it, but I was like, I'm not going to trust them, turn it off. Yeah. But then once they had more updates, I started the rest mode, and I was like, rest mode's fine, whatever. But then, because I'm going to get back to this one game. Mm-hmm. But with this one, I was like, I'm going to wait until March or April to do this rest mode thing. I'm going to cut it off to see, because, back in the PS3 days, you didn't have that. So you had to save your game and then cut it off. Right. So that, in my mind, is save your game, cut it off. Save your game off. Rest mode has made it so convenient to people to use it more often. Mm-hmm. I'm like, nah, just turn your shit off, man. You're done with the game. Turn the fucking shit off. Right. I'm just saying, your mother would be like, you better turn that goddamn game off. You can come back and play it later when you get ready. But I haven't had an issue. I had issues with my 5. I mean, I only had a few games, but I think I'm waiting to play Miles because of the updates. Because the issues I've seen online, having it with the whole crashing of the games and the whole stopping of whatnot, it makes me not want to play it. Mm-hmm. I want to play it, but I'm waiting for updates. So once more updates come out, then I will go ahead and test it and see what the hype is about.
Well, I mean, in the 20 plus hours that I put into Miles so far, I've literally only had one crash, and that was towards the end of the campaign. Mm-hmm. But after that's one of probably the smoothest running games that you play. And then with the speed of the PlayStation 5's SSD, just the fact, if you remember the original Spider-Man on PS4, if you wanted to take Peter from one part of New York to another part, you had to hop on if you want to use fast travel in the subway, and then you had to load and watch him talk on the subway with somebody and everything else like that. You don't even have time for that in this game. This is so fast. As soon as you fast travel, all you see is a fade to black. And then Miles is walking out of the subway station. And I was like, okay. Well, I didn't have a chance to even take a look at my phone and text somebody. I was like, I'm already back in the game. So just the speed of that. being able to, so if something does, let's say if something does crash, I can just go back to the main screen, go into the game, and then the game loads right back up in like 3 seconds, and then I'm right back into where I was before. And I was like, yo, that's like that kind of speed. Like after doing that, I don't see how people could ever go back to PlayStation 4 and play it again after playing the PlayStation 5, because this thing is on just a different level.
Another thing, that solid state,
solid state, man.
I can't wait to freaking Ratchet and Clank.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Did you see the presentation for that thing where you were just jumping through
dimensions and stuff?
Yeah, jumping
just
through
like
ones.
that.
Damn.
No load. You just pull up a whole new landscape.
Now, what games do you guys want to see use exactly what the controller is intended for? With haptic feedback and adaptive triggers.
God. Now you open up a can of worms.
Now, you know what? I'm going to just throw something funny on there. I want to see Sandrun Kakura grabbing some titties.
I think going there. There it is.
PS5.
There it is. I'm just gonna say this.
Uh-huh.
The Japanese are going to
go ham.
But ham with this system because
grab some thighs.
First we had the PlayStation Vita with the touchpad on the back, so you can kind of rub it and do like some stuff like that. Then you had the touchpad on the DualShock 4 or PS4, you can kind of rub it and kind of do stuff like that.
With the VR?
With the VR. Ooh. Now you have a controller that has this much feedback on things that you can do, so that now when some poor girl in some weeb game is gonna go into your ear and whisper "Oni-chan" and taps you on the shoulder, and you can feel it in the controller now. Like I feel like
the weebs of the world are gonna.
The weebs of the world are going to unite, and they're gonna be like, you know what? It's time to go to Japan so we can go to the adult theme park. No,
adult theme park. There you go.
Delta Airlines, like, why we got all these fucking flights to Japan?
It's like, like everybody wants to come play with this brand controller. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm super excited to see what possibly could be done. I mean, we've already seen what's happened with like Astro's Playroom. We've seen what stuff would be first-person shooters with Call of Duty. I really want to see horror. Horror is going to be like that next step, that next level, and especially with the rumor that we may be getting the announcement of Silent Hill at the Game Awards coming up here on December 10th. I'm really have my fingers crossed on that one, because now, when you combine the haptics of the controller and then the 3D audio, which is something else that I really have been hearing a lot of people talk about, is that the cool thing is you don't need Sony's 3D Pulse headset to get 3D audio. It can actually be any headset that you want to use. So whether you want to use Turtle Beach, or if you want to use any of those, or if you just want to use like just your cheapo headset that you want to put in and plug into the controller, it'll still use the 3D audio.
With the
photorealism, plug in my PS4 dinky ass.
Something cheaped out on that one.
I know with the Still series. The Still series has like great audio and powerful sound. So I'm ready to see that.
With the photorealism of Silent Hill and all that other shit, someone's gonna die, man. Yeah. Someone's gonna get a heart attack.
Someone might.
Someone's gonna die.
I'll tell you what. You said horror. I want to see a remake of Alien Isolation.
That would be
put
good.
on the PlayStation 5 with the haptic feedback, because that xenomorph steps, you can feel the controller.
Yeah.
It like if you do VR with it, like just imagine like how somebody's gonna die on fast. You get in the you go in the locker, you hide in the locker. It comes out, it busts right in your face, feel the controller, and you're dead. Literally and figuratively.
You're right. Drop the controller and shit.
Elizabeth.
Well, I have a serious idea, okay?
Uh-huh.
So I want to see a PSVR 2 for the PS5 with using the controller. I want them to bring back Fatal Fury, where you actually.
Oh hell no.
I mean, not Fatal Fury. I want you to bring back Fatal Frame.
They can't bring back Fatal Frame though.
Nintendo.
Because Nintendo has Fatal Frame now.
Well, they should have took the shit out of the Wii and bring it to the Switch.
They should have.
But honestly, I want to see Fatal Frame come back to the PlayStation and actually use the adaptive feedback controller to actually like feel like a damn DSLR camera or shit like that, where you gotta take pictures of ghosts and shit like
kind
that.
of zoom in and whatnot.
That'd be dope. I would actually fuck with that. Fatal Frame on the PSVR 2 with the adaptive feedback controller and actually just act like a fucking shutter button. You know,
Somebody might die on that one.
hey, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Any horror movie.
They got the
any
label
horror
of these
game.
games, man.
Any horror game that's coming up from now
Right.
until then, once they start using that, like with the tension of the triggers and the haptics and whatnot, like there's gonna be a lot of scared people.
They're gonna need a label on those games. Real talk.
They might need to, man. They might need to. But I mean, how do you guys feel about some of the upcoming exclusives that we're hearing that so far that we know that's coming out? Like I know you got Horizon Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
Forbidden West. You
We got
have
that one future game from
you have-
Capcom. I forgot what it's called.
Pragmata.
Yeah,
you
Pragmata.
have
Final Fantasy 16.
Final Fantasy 16, God of War Ragnarok. I mean, there's always, especially if you finish Miles Morales, you got Spider-Man 2 is coming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, like, do you guys feel like PlayStation, in terms of their launch titles, that like Sony has maybe had like one of the best launch titles in a while?
Man,
with the games they come out
I
with?
think Sony is, since the 4, they've been going from strength to strength. Obviously there are some misses, but golly, man.
I mean, because Xbox really didn't have any like launch titles though.
With the launch of PlayStation 5,
Well, the launch was Game Pass.
28. You got 28 titles that you can touch right now. Like
Yeah.
day one, you can just
Right.
touch 28 titles.
Oh, the PlayStation
PlayStation Plus.
Exactly.
Plus.
And but you're saying like upcoming games. That God of War Ragnarok is
That's-
the number one on my list.
I'm ready for that one. I'm ready for that one.
Did you guys 100% complete it, or did you
Yeah.
look at the secret scene at the end?
Of God of War?
Yeah.
No, I didn't 100%.
Okay, well, with
It's cool, man.
so Kratos goes into his shack, and then there's a lightning storm that starts hitting around. He comes out, and you see Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
So I'm ready.
Yeah.
Kratos versus Thor. Come on.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good.
I would say like I didn't get a chance to mention my future as a PS5. I'm ready for fighting games.
You know what?
Fighting games, because if you think about it, like, if you're doing fighting games, and especially fighting games have your punches, your kicks, whatever. But imagine feeling a Hadouken in the controller. Like you're actually doing the Hadouken.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like the vibrations of like the waves and stuff, and the feeling of that. And then like Ken's fucking Dragon Punch. You feel like the vibrations of the flames, or fighting games. The developers are gonna have a field day with this, especially Tekken. Tekken is gonna have a ball with this.
Man, people are gonna disable that shit. Like, this is too distracting to me.
and like
It's too distracting me, man. I lost because of the.
Some people might do that. Like
Yeah.
I like I'm not gonna lie. Like as cool as it was for they had the adaptive triggers to play Cold War for Call of Duty. I actually went into the option to actually turn that off and turned off the vibration in the controller. Just because, not because I didn't like it, but because when you're playing something like a first-person shooter where like you're literally trying to aim and shoot somebody in the head in milliseconds, and you have to fight with the trigger to push it down and everything else like that, or if it starts shaking and it messes up your aim, I'm like, okay, you know what? That's cool to play through the campaign and whatnot competitively. Let me just go ahead and turn it off and just play it normally. And that's not anything bad against it. It's just me personally, I don't want to feel anything like that. But to go back to fighting games, I guess your first big chance to really experience that is going to be in April when Guilty Gear
Strive comes out.
Guilty Gear Strive comes out. So that'll be a good chance to kind of see what Arc System does with the haptics, and hopefully they do a good job. And the game looks good.
Yeah, the game does look good.
Far Cry 6 is coming too.
Oh yeah.
Far Cry 6.
Personally, honestly, this is probably a separate topic, but I mean, it is still in relations. But whatever Capcom's getting ready to release, I already know that whatever they do with Monster Hunter, man, that's gonna definitely like utilize that controller.
Oh yeah.
With all the weaponry that you use and build your shit,
Makes sense.
it just makes sense with Monster Hunter.
Just imagine, I think Devil May Cry Special Edition is supposed to be having some things with the haptic feedback too.
Virgil's gonna be in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think you can, if you can buy the digital one now, but the upgrade comes later in the year, the beginning of 2021 for all the systems. So.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Devil May Cry, how did you guys feel about all the new ray tracing and everything that's going on in the game? Like, I know for me in particular, I know everybody's like, oh, I want to play in performance mode at 60 frames per second and whatnot. But I actually, like, for Miles Morales, I put it in Fidelity mode, which has it's 30 frames, but it's like 4K with ray tracing and everything else like that. Like, when I swung by a building and I saw like
Yeah, this is too much for me.
This is actually a real thing. Like, especially in Demon Souls 2. Well, Demon Souls doesn't have it, but for like Call of Duty and everything else like that did have ray tracing in it. It's like, if this is where lighting is going for games moving forward with ray tracing, now I see why Sony and Microsoft were putting so much into the ray tracing and whatnot, because it just makes games feel that much more immersive when you can look in a mirror or look in some water and actually see an accurate reflection of the world around you and not just like a black hole.
Yeah, because I was playing Astro's Playroom, and like in there's one area where there's a water level, like a water park. I see like the water, and I'm just like, this water is clear. It's clear. Like the clear water in my house. And then you see the reflection and whatnot in the game, and it's like I'm blown away because I'm like you said, the ray tracing is just phenomenal. And there's one area where you're in an area with mirrors and you see the reflection of the character back at you, and it's just it's nuts.
Yeah, it really is.
I remember talking to you guys in a group chat. Like, I think this was like months or at least a year in advance, stuff like that. I was excited about the PlayStation 5 and the next gen consoles because of ray tracing alone.
Yeah,
because I knew that what that was going to do with games in general. The reason why I was excited about ray tracing is because, like, I got a little taste of it when somebody modded Grand Theft Auto 5 with ray tracing, and I said, if that's the future of gaming with HDR, we in for some new shit. And we're not even like, we haven't even cracked the surface because we're still in the beginning stages of these new.
We haven't even hit a month yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
It's been a week. It's been a week. It's been like a week.
2 days.
And we get started Demon Souls, and it's like,
let's wait. We got like, I imagine conversations 3 years and 5 years from now. Like, man, damn PlayStation 5.
Like every generation they have like a super version of the console. Yeah. What the hell is going to be the super version of the PlayStation 5?
Yeah. PS5 Pro.
It's going to be just real people. And
Well, I mean, something else that's kind of funny too, 'cause I was looking it up today, is I think apparently Digital Foundry was comparing Dirt 5 that just came out, the PlayStation 5 and the Series X version and everything like that. And surprise, surprise, the PlayStation 5 version actually looks and runs better than the Series X version. This is now game number, I want to say like 4 or 5 now, that's been compared to where PlayStation 5 has been. These games are running better and looking better resolution wise than Series X, and you're like, wait a minute, didn't Microsoft just get done like for almost an entire year telling us that Xbox was stronger and that it was going to do this and the third over PlayStation? And to see all this come out now, it's kind of like, now I see why Sony didn't say anything. They were quiet the entire time, and they were just like, look, we're just going to let our games do the talking. Look, it's the proof's in the pudding, man. Like, ugh.
Microsoft tripping.
Quick question, guys. So we all know the tradition with Sony. They've always slim or pro up their consoles 3 or 4 years from now. Are you guys going to slim down or upgrade?
Yes.
No question.
Yes. I just stay with how it is. I never buy the slim version of the console. It's just I ain't made of money.
Yeah. Slim, no. Upgraded version if there was a Pro, yes. Depending on how much of an upgrade it is compared to the previous. Like for the PlayStation 4 Pro, when I saw how much of an upgrade it was to the original PlayStation and how these games were running a little bit better and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I actually want that because I'm tired of dealing with all the junk on the base PS4. So I got the Pro and I was fine with it. But to go ahead and Brandon was saying, it was like the PS5 Pro comes out, how much further can we go at that point for a Pro? You know what I mean? So
damn thing is coming out TV screen.
I mean, imagine what if the PlayStation 5 Pro was going to allow you to have fidelity and performance together. 60 frames.
If it's 60 frame 4K locked, sky's the limit.
Yo, I might have to come about that. I might become made of money for that one.
Turn into $1.
Damn. Like I said, yes.
All right, so I guess going around the table, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your final rating for the PlayStation 5 with the launch and the system itself? Starting with WB.
All right, I think I'm gonna get about an 8.5. Like the whole the system and everything was great. Of course, there's bugs, but of course, the limitation of the available consoles and launch of it wasn't good. Like the whole pre-ordering it and trying to find it, and then people buying it for thousands of dollars and then hundreds of dollars for no reason.
I gotta have it.
I gotta have it. I gotta have the system.
I need it.
You know, I need it. I need it. I was like, man, you know, it's been crazy, but I give about an 8.
I agree with you for the exact same reason. It's too goddamn hard to get a goddamn PlayStation 5.
And y'all thought the Switch finding was bad.
Yeah,
Shit.
Yeah, PS5 is on a different level. I mean, Orion, from what you've seen.
From what I've seen, it looks impressive and stuff like that, but honestly, I can't give you guys a fair number, so you guys have to stay tuned into the next podcast.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Nice. What are you giving it, Daniel?
Fair assessment, I would give it
9.
Yeah, I give it a 9. I give it a 9. Like there's only like one console I've ever given a 10, and that was a PlayStation 2. Because PlayStation 2 was
greatest console
of all time.
Woo!
PS5 is good. It's really good. There's a few things with it that I like. Some things I don't like. You know, a lot of the functionality that we had with PlayStation 4, they've kind of, I mean, because this OS is coming in hot. So this thing is missing a lot of stuff that we had in PlayStation 4, like folders. Like folders. That should be a simple thing. They don't have any folders, and then it's too hard to try to turn off the system itself. Before I can just hold down the PlayStation button, bring up the side menu, and then I can just turn it off and be done with it. Now in PlayStation 5, I have to make sure to tap the button once so that I don't go too far into it. Then I gotta go down to the bottom. Then I gotta scroll over, get to the power, and then I turn it off. And I'm like, okay, that's not really intuitive. Hopefully Sony will decide to make that a little bit better moving forward, but it'll be a constant update. But yeah, I'll go and give it a 9.
Sidebar. Next episode, we'll review Xbox One Series. Oh, wait, we don't have it. So,
I mean, it's not that you can't find one, because trust me, you can find one in the stores today.
Yes.
From outside looking in, 8 out of 10 from what you guys are telling me. You know, I don't have it, but it seems like everyone's pretty much pleased except with the finding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are selling their children.
People are selling their children, the children and their livestock for it.
Selling livers and kidneys for
But you can find the sex box, as I call it, everywhere.
don't call it.
Yeah, well,
Well, Series X sex box.
I mean, you got yourself a tower and you got yourself a Dubai hotel. So, I mean, I'm about to sell my shit to Dubai. It's still in the box. So,
16. Xbox has 16 games.
And I bet all of them are on Game Pass.
And most of them are not first party.
Oh man!
And that's the killing thing right there.
That's an entirely different conversation on its own.
Well, let's not open up
the fanboys they're gonna come.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll address them.
I mean, fanboys gonna come for us after this one here.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
all right, guys, that's the time. Like and comment. Just like if you ain't feeling the content, download the discussion from SoundCloud. Big shout out to you for being a part of the crowd. Follow us on every popular social media on the platform in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon and check us out on Streamlabs.
Hit that like button. Y'all know you like the content.
Peace.
Out.